Wildcat Week, I'm Kyle Johnson. The men's and women's tennis teams both capped off excellent seasons on Saturday. Both Wildcat squads won their Crossroads League tournament, and as a result, both are headed to NAIA Nationals next May. The conference title was the 16th straight for the women's team, while the men won their first conference tournament title in 5 years. Both teams traveled to Indianapolis to face Marian University in the finals. Play was moved indoors due to weather, and the women played first. The Wildcats found themselves a little room for error after doubles, as Marian took 2 of the 3 doubles matches. Diane Jones and Ellett Hornet won 8-6 at 3 doubles for IWU. The women took care of business quickly in singles, however. Katie Wilson, pictured here, easily won at number 1 singles, leveling the match at 2 matches all. Rachel Botdorf and Michaela Marazzi then won as well, pushing the Wildcats to within 1 victory of the championship. And Kim Mello then sent the Knights packing, and IWU won by a score of 5-2. The men followed the women, and the Wildcats got off to a quick start in doubles. Yours truly, yes, that is me, and Brandon Dubuque won the 1 doubles match, and Adam Roten and Joel Montgomery took the 3 doubles match. With a 2-1 advantage heading into singles, the Wildcats were pumped up. Myself and Gavin White were victorious at 1 and 2 singles, making the score 4-1 overall, needing just 1 more point. And that's when freshman Joel Montgomery made the final win taking the 3-set win at the 4 spot, 5-1 the final score. And joining me now is the men's tennis coach as well as my head coach, Keith Ruberg. Coach, thanks for coming in today.
Thanks.
What was the initial feeling after the win for you personally and as a team?
Well, personally, I was so happy for you and the guys on the team, but specifically the seniors, yourself and Adam, because I know the road that you guys took was long, and I know it was sweet when it was over. That's pretty much my first thought. I was just happy for the guys. So.
What do you think the keys were to the win, not only on Saturday, but throughout the tournament as well?
I think just staying focused on the match at hand. In the past, we've kind of stumbled into semis, and I think people start looking down the court and seeing, well, that guy's winning, so I can kind of cruise a little bit. But I think we really focused on making sure you win your match and not just think someone else is. So I think the team really pulled together and bought into that.
Talk about the mindset a little bit more down the stretch. Obviously, we losing to Marian first match. What was kind of the mindset shift after that?
Well, I mean, the first loss was kind of a fluke. We had several injuries that happened, and that we kind of had that in hand, and then boom, 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 kind of domino effect. People got hurt. But I think in the long run, it was for the good because it made us know that we can be vulnerable as well, and helped us focus on what we need to do. And instead of looking into the future, taking 1 match at a time, saying we need to win this match and then we need to win this match, not, well, we've got these 2 matches because they aren't a strong team. I think that really helped us focus going into that tournament.
Who do you think stepped up, not only on the court, but potentially off the court for the guys that didn't play? Who, in your mind, down the season stretch kind of stepped up?
On the court, I think Gavin White, in the last week in the tournament, if I added it up correctly, I think he had 5 points of the 15 we needed. He stepped up. Obviously, in the championship match, you stepped up pretty big. I know you'd had some frustrations earlier, but I knew you'd pull through when we need it. Joel Montgomery, he got our 5th point. He played solid all year. Him and Adam Roten played doubles. I don't think they lost a doubles match all year. So, I mean, to point out one person on the court, really hard to do because, even though tennis is an individual sport, everybody kind of stepped up as a team when they needed to do that. Off the court, obviously, you and Leonard and Brandon Dubuque have been, pretty vocal and getting the guys pumped up and getting them to realize, hey, this is bigger than my results. It's a team result. So,
Speak a little bit to the atmosphere of the team now that things are done for the rest of this semester. What's kind of the vibe right now of the guys?
Well, they're pretty excited because we're going to go out and celebrate a little bit tonight. So that's exciting. But I think a lot of them, are thrilled that I know you yourself are happy finally we're getting to go to the NAI Nationals. So I think that will really help get us ready to go into the spring season. I know that's a ways off, but having the attitude that we have to be ready for the NAI Nationals, I think will help a lot. I think everybody's excited about that. I don't want them to get too excited because we still need to stay focused, but the next few months is the time to do that.
Keith Ruberg, thanks for joining us right here on Wildcat Week. And the men's soccer team had success as well on Wednesday night, defeating cross-county rival Taylor. Both teams came into the contest atop the league standings. The Trojans came into town looking for the upset, but would get none of the sort. The Wildcats strike first before the half as Keaton Albert gets this great assist from Tyrone Martin. He capitalizes on the goal 1-0. Martin then scores a goal of his own and in the second half, breaking the tie and giving the Wildcats a 2-1 lead. Taylor Lehman then increases the lead here and makes it a two-score game, 3-1. This would eventually be the game-winning goal as Taylor would score again, but would not come away with the win. The Wildcats were victorious, and after the game, Courtney Handley caught up with assistant men's coach Joel Shillman and Taylor Lehman, who scored the game-winning goal.
We've got some special players, and I think that the class of those guys shine through ultimately. Taylor comes at you hard, and we know that. They come very directly, and they come over the top, and they come with a lot of numbers, and it's difficult to overcome that sometimes. But the guys stayed focused, and they stayed with a plan, and it wasn't the prettiest soccer, but good teams win ugly, and these guys did really well today with that.
It was a big game, and we were getting really hyped for it. Obviously, it's our rival, Taylor, so it was a big deal. And we just knew we were going to have to grind this one out. Kind of an ugly game, but you just got to grind it out against Taylor, and you never know what's going to happen. And thankfully, we pulled this one out.
3-2 the final score, and the men's team is now in first place in the league standings. The women's volleyball team also won this week, traveling to Mount Vernon, Ohio, to take on the Cougars. Remy Buckner and Morgan Miller led the Wildcats with 19 kills apiece. Overall, great team effort. Mount Vernon, however, wouldn't go down easily, and this match would go the distance. The Wildcats take the fifth and final game by a score of 15-6, and this contest was a final score of 3-2 in favor of the Wildcats. Mount Vernon putting up a valiant fight, but the Wildcats prevailed in 5 games, 3-2. When we come back, we'll relive homecoming Saturday soccer and talk with the women's soccer coach Tim Strader. Don't go away. Welcome back to Wildcat Week. Homecoming weekend was a busy one for the Wildcats. Both IWU soccer teams came away with victories in front of homecoming crowds. The men's soccer team had a dominant performance on homecoming. The men hosted Marion in front of a large and rowdy crowd. The men are having a great season thus far, and that wouldn't change on Saturday. Keaton Albert led the way with this early pretty goal, giving the Wildcats the lead. Seth Kinty then upped the ante and scored this flashy goal off an assist from Evan Young from the corner to increase the lead at 2-0. Corey Lopez added this goal with the assist from Albert to make it 3-0 after the celebration from the Wildcats. And he converts, hits the back of the net. And in the second half action, even goalie Josh Gepper got in on the action, scoring his first collegiate goal off the penalty kick, making it 4-0. And that wasn't the last of it, however, either, as Caleb Denlinger scored his first college goal as well to bring the Wildcats to a dominant win, 5-0. After the big win, Tim Tedeschi welcomed Coach Mark Castro and Keaton Albert to the booth for their reactions to the victory.
Coach, you've had some nail-biters here at Wildcat Field. What was it like to have a game like this where you just kind of control the tempo all the way through?
Yeah, this type of a game is pretty atypical for us in the sense that all the games we're playing are just one-goal games and nail-biters, as you said. So it is nice to have a game like this every once in a while just to elevate some confidence and be able to get some players onto the field that don't normally get a lot of playing time. So they were able to maximize some of their time out here against a good, Marion side.
What's it like to have such a great team win today?
It meant a lot for us because, homecoming. and whatnot. And to win today means a lot, not only for our program but for the fans as well, for the other guys who have put a lot of time, 4 years, other players. So it means a lot for the whole school and our program as well.
The win tied the men for the first in the conference race, and they sit at 10-1 on the year. The women were also successful on homecoming Saturday. The Knights of Marion visited the women as well, and the Wildcats played some inspired soccer. Caitlin Maines put the Wildcats up early with this goal. Freshman Lydia Demmett took the initial shot, and Maines found the rebound. IWU is up 1-0. Katie Pannebecker scored only 5 minutes later with this great individual effort, and she puts the Wildcats up 2-0 with a long goal from way out, and she finds the back of the net over the keeper's head. And Susan Anthony puts this one out of reach with this beautiful header, and the Wildcats dominate the Knights 3-1, the final score in this one. The Lady Wildcats won their second straight game of the season. And now we welcome in women's soccer coach Tim Strader to the studio. Coach, thanks for coming in.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
And it's your first year here at IWU. Talk about the transition and what's the biggest adjustment been for you personally?
Absolutely. Besides the weather from California to Indiana, we're changing the culture right now. We're putting in a new brand of soccer, a new expectation on this team, and it's been phenomenal to see how they've responded to it.
So what's been the biggest adjustment as a team for you guys with you coming in and the new dynamic of that?
Absolutely. We've changed several key facets. The first way is the way we defend. They've always done a man marking system in the back, and now we've changed that to a zone defending, which is completely reteaching the game. And then the second is actually brought a West Coast style of play. We put the ball on the ground and we look to go combine through teams and play on the floor, whereas they've been a bit more direct in years past.
You guys struggled a little bit early on, but obviously homecoming and against Bethel, you guys had 2 straight wins. What was kind of the turnaround once conference started for you guys from early on in the season?
Absolutely. As a new coach coming in, we knew there was going to be a transitional period. And so early on, we kind of set our goal to say, okay, we want to be ready by the conference season. That is our goal. And we took some lessons early on to get ready for Bethel and to get ready for Marion. To get a good win over a good Marion side. Definitely increase the confidence, but the team is buying in, they're pushing hard in practice, and we're building a culture here.
What are your goals for the rest of the conference season? You guys have a couple weeks left. Talk about that as it gets into November and it gets cold.
Absolutely. Well, for me, it's going to be buy a few more jackets, but for the team in general, it is we're discovering ourselves. Traditionally, when a new coach comes in, you've got that spring season to kind of take some time to get to know yourselves, get to know your team. We've been doing it on the fly from the first day of training. And each and every day we make steps. Each and every game we play, we make another stride. And just to see where we're at, we've been adding different elements to our game. We've been getting better on our set plays. We've been increasing our speed of play.
Goshen's coming up on Saturday. Talk about the game plan for them short term.
Absolutely. We're going to stick to our style. We obviously we do our research on Goshen. We know where they're at this year, and we're looking to keep our stride going, keep our winning edge. So.
Talk about the camaraderie of the girls. Has that changed at all in just the weeks you've been playing?
Absolutely. You could see a sense of anytime you have a leadership change in the coaching, it's going to take time to make that adjustment. And it's been awesome just to see the buy-in from the seniors and the juniors as they're stepping up in that leadership role, and they're teaching the younger players about what it means to be a Wildcat. One of the things that we did early on in the season was kind of sign a freshman with a senior so they could teach them what it means, what this culture is all about.
Talk briefly about future and long-term with you at IWU and women's soccer.
Absolutely. I'm excited. I feel like this is just an incredible university. It's got a passion for sports. Obviously, our athletic director, Mark DeMichael, has done a fantastic job of creating this environment. And just looking long-term, we're recruiting hard. We're going out and we're trying to change this, and we're trying to put the women's soccer back on top. And I'm excited to see how this is going to transpire over the next 2, 3, 4 years. The comment I keep hearing is the women's soccer games are so much fun to watch, and I just encourage people to keep coming out and watching a good brand of soccer.
Coach Strader, thanks so much for joining us. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
Men's golf has been underway for quite some time now as well, and they're having success under second-year head coach Austin Conroy. The men placed first in the Cougar Invitational in Fort Wayne on October 4th. Senior Dalton Miller led the Wildcats with a second-place individual finish. The Wildcats then traveled to Wisconsin to compete in the Wolfpack Invitational. The team achieved 5th place out of 10 teams. Jake Coffey and Blake Russell were the highest individual scorers for the Wildcats. Coffey shot a total of 231 in the 3-round tournament, and Russell tied for 14th with a total of 235 strokes. The men's golf will travel to Silvis, Illinois, next to compete in the NAIA Classic. Play begins October 13th and lasts through the 14th. When we come back, we'll see how the cross-country teams are faring this season, and we'll sit down with some of the new tennis champions. You don't want to miss it. Welcome back to Wildcat Week. Both IWU cross-country teams are ranked nationally thanks to quick starts to the season. In September, the men traveled to Minneapolis, Minnesota to compete in the GRIAC Invitational. The men finished 3rd out of 32. At the invite, there was no shortage of great competition. The field was composed of NAIA, NCAA Division II, and Canadian universities. Newcomer Nino Bellinati led the Wildcats with the best individual effort ever at the Invitational, placing 3rd overall. The men now sit at 12th in the nation in the rankings and will compete this weekend in Kansas. The women's cross-country team also having success early, and they are ranked 18th in the country. The women traveled to Louisville on Saturday to compete in the Louisville Classic. The women placed 12 as a team out of 38 teams competing. All 11 teams ahead of the Wildcats were NCAA Division I schools or ranked NCAA Division II schools. The women will also travel to Kansas this weekend. And as we said earlier, both tennis teams took home league championships this weekend. Rachel Bottorff of the women's team claimed all conference honors this season, and freshman Joel Montgomery clinched the championship for the men, winning the 5th and final match on Saturday. Both of them join me today in the studio. Thanks for coming in, guys. Appreciate it. And Rachel, we're going to start with you. What was going through your mind when you saw that Kim won the final match on Saturday?
Well, I just was filled with all these emotions. I was just so proud of my team. I mean, going into the match, I was definitely feeling nervous since we'd lost to Marian earlier in the season. But so I knew we'd have to come out and play really well, and I was just proud that everyone had come out and done their best that day, and we'd won.
Now, you guys went down 2-1 after doubles. What was kind of the team's mindset after that happened, kind of being down a little bit?
Well, as we'd been practicing leading up to that match, our big goal was to go up 3-0 in doubles, which is, a common goal. And that definitely hurt going down 1-2. It definitely made us a little nervous, and especially for me because Kelsey and I had won most of our doubles matches during the season, so that was kind of hard, but we definitely showed up in singles like it should.
Mm-hmm. Joel, what about you, man? You were the 5th and final point. What was going through your mind when you won that match?
So many emotions came over me. It was a bigger win for our team, especially. Just all the fight and everything that we had to deal with this season. It meant so much for me personally, and I think for the team, especially for you and the seniors and the upperclassmen, that we're so excited now to go to NAI Nationals and hopefully Christians as well.
What was kind of the energy like in that place? It was indoor bubble, so things got pretty loud. Describe the energy.
Yeah, the energy was great. It's exactly what I dream of college tennis to be. It was hard to tell between the two supporting groups of IWU and Marian, but it kept me going. I think it kept our team going, and it really made the win even more memorable.
All right, Rich, we're going back to you now. Talk about Coach Shigley, his first year taking over for Terry Porter. What was it like with him at the helm this year?
Well, I definitely miss having Coach Porter around. He was a great coach, but I think having Coach Shigley has been a really great change for our team. He's done a lot with bringing our team closer together, with team bonding things, and he really loves tennis, is super passionate about it, and he's helped to make us a little more passionate about it, and he definitely knows his stuff and has helped us to improve a lot this fall season.
Do you think you guys are more cohesive as a team now that he's running things from a day-to-day basis?
Yeah, I would definitely say that we've grown a lot closer this season.
All right, Joel, talk about our team moving forward. What's the atmosphere like for us as we're looking forward to next semester?
I think all of us are so excited, so focused and inspired to be ranked in the top 25. We have so much potential. so much talent that we can honestly be ranked in the top 25 and pull off some big upsets this upcoming spring. And we're all very excited to do that.
Now, as a freshman, what's been a couple things that have been different from high school for you tennis-wise? Describe what it's been like your first semester here.
Well, I'm on a lot better team than I was in high school. It's great to be around guys who have the same amount of passion and the same amount of skill to continue on, and hopefully we can do great things in our spring season.
Rachel, what's the team's mindset going forward next semester and looking forward to nationals? Are you guys really excited about that? Are you kind of realizing the work that has to be done? Describe the team's feeling towards next year.
Well, we're definitely excited, and going along with Coach Shigley, he's done a really great job getting us some better matches in the spring. I think we're going to try to play some tougher teams, and we're excited about that. You know, we'll definitely have to work harder to try to do well against these teams, but I think it'll help us to get a better ranking and to be a lot more prepared going into the national tournament.
Since you guys have been there so many years in a row, is there kind of like this same old feeling, or are you really kind of having a new feeling about this season?
Well, I think, okay, in the past we have had trouble getting past winning just one match. Like this last year I went and we just won our first match and then lost in the second round, but I think we're really hoping that we can kind of push through that and maybe win a second round and, you know, keep going further. That's definitely a goal we have.
Joel, talk about NAIAs coming up, which is still a ways away in May. What's your excitement as far as the team's excitement and what we're looking to accomplish as a team?
I'm really excited to play amazing competition down there. I know we all are, and same as Rachel, but we want to win the first round, but we want to keep going. We want to become a top program in the country and to represent our Lord and Savior first, because that's what we really want to do. It's our top priority.
Talk about our schedule coming up in the spring. We have a pretty tough schedule getting ready for NAIAs. What do you think we're going to have to work on moving forward?
Doubles is always key. It can carry momentum into singles or it can really hurt you. Doubles, I think if we keep working on doubles, that'll definitely help us, and still work on our team chemistry, and I think come around each other. And like I said before, I think we really can pull off some big upsets this upcoming spring.
Thank you so much, guys. Joel Montgomery, a freshman, Rachel Bottorff, a sophomore. The next wave of IWU tennis coming your way. And that's all we have for you this week. If you have any comments or suggestions about the show, we'd like to hear from you. You can write the station at WIWU-TV, 4201 South Washington Street, Marion, Indiana, 46953. Or you can visit our website at WIWUTV.com to see past episodes and be able to connect with us online. Again, that's WIWUTV.com. We look forward to being back with you next week. For all of us here, thanks for watching.